Members of the August House this week face a tricky yet critical balancing act to avert a looming constitutional crisis over a legal requirement that at least 117 women must find their way into the National Assembly that will be constituted after the March 2013 polls. The executive has, through a constitutional amendment bill, proposed a mechanism to fulfill the constitutional requirement that not more than two-thirds of persons holding elective offices shall be from either gender. Key players in the implementation of the Constitution meeting in Naivasha warned the lawmakers against trivializing the constitutional gender requirement.
Let all members of parliament really know that this is one of those challenges, one of those decisions where we have no choice to prevaricate, we have no choice to hold this one in abeyance ad infinitum, we have no choice to circumlocute around it in the hope that it will just go away. We have to make a decision either way.
I would rather we make the amendment now and give ourselves a mechanism on how we are going to realize that. Otherwise, I think we will be cheating ourselves. We will go to the polls unless we come out and tell Kenyans to vote in the female candidates. We will run in a constitutional crisis.
The amendment that members of parliament will debate seeks to remove the ceiling on the number of members of the National Assembly. Article 97 of the Constitution provides that the National Assembly shall have 350 members, including the Speaker. If the amendment bill sails through, political parties will be required to nominate standby members who will be nominated to the August House in case fewer men or women are elected in next year's polls to fulfill the two-thirds requirement. This will lead to an increased number of members of the August House at an extra cost to the taxpayer.
If you go that route, you're talking about not less than 23 billion in 5 years Kenya shillings.
Over 4 billion a year.
Over 4 billion a year, which is very prohibitive in a sense, because to have a bloated legislature is not something that every Kenyan is looking forward to.
We have to look Kenyans in the eye and tell them, ask them, do you want 500 MPs or do you want money for infrastructural development?
The cost issue notwithstanding, key constitutional commissions insist that the buck stops with Parliament.
We need collectively to impress upon the people of Kenya the need to vote in a manner that gives recognition to both genders and avoids that scenario.
Prime Minister Raila Odinga appealed to all members of parliament to turn up in the House and support the constitutional amendment bill. In reference to Midiwo's remarks on the proposed affirmative action formula, Odinga distanced himself and the Orange Party from individual positions taken by the ODM members of parliament. The amendment bill requires the support of at least 148 members of parliament. For the next National Assembly to be constitutionally constituted, it must have at least 117 men or women. Currently, women are assured of 53 positions, leaving a deficit of at least 64 positions out of the 290 constituencies that will elect their members of parliament. Francis Gashori, Citizen Live at 9, Naivasha.